Namaskaram, my name is S. Ashok Kumar. Welcome to my channel. After explaining the concept of metabolism, now I am going to explain the very important concept that absolutely you need to study to understand these respiration plans. That is a concept of ATP. Okay? Now, before going to tell about the energy things about the ATP, bioenergetics of the ATP, first I will introduce ATP. So as we know, ATP when you pronounce, you can understand ATP is the most common energy currency of cell. You understand that point? ATP is the most common energy currency. Nobody will call ATP is the only energy currency of the cell. Means there are different energy currency cell are there, but every cell using the ATP as a most common. That I will tell you why. Okay. Otherwise, other than the energy currency of the cell, ATP, what are the other functions? This ATP, as I said last time, ATP is a link molecule, link between catabolism and anabolism. Why this ATP is linked between the catabolism and anabolism? Because during catabolism, energy release, that is in the form of ATP. In the anabolism, energy is utilized, that is in the form of ATP. That is why ATP molecule is linked between the catabolism and anabolism. The next point related to the ATP is like ATP acts as a neurotransmitter. This point you may not know because well studied the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. But acetylcholine is not only neurotransmitter. Like acetylcholine, there are a number of neurotransmitters. Even glutamine, amino acid glutamine is also neurotransmitter. That include ATP also acts as a neurotransmitter. Along with that, cyclic AMP. CAMP stands for cyclic AMP. Actually, the cyclic AMP is a derivative of the ATP. ATP molecule is converted into cyclic AMP with the help of enzyme adenylate cyclase. That enzyme converts the ATP into cyclic AMP. That means cyclic AMP is one form of ATP. What is the importance of cyclic AMP? Cyclic AMP is the best secondary chemical messenger. That is in the hormonal action. This is a well-known point. This point I will make it very explain in the topic chemical coordination. So these are the different functions of the ATP. As we know, not only it is the most common energy currency of the cell. The next one, this ATP discovered by scientist Lohmann. The next one, structure of ATP given by Lippmann. These 2 points related to the discovery. Okay, you stay there. Now I am going to draw the structure of ATP. Okay, na? What is the full form of ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Triphosphate put one side, adenosine. Adenosine means what? Nitrogen base adenine. First we have to draw the adenine. See this one clearly. That is why I said you have to practice nitrogen base structures. So this is a NH2. See this one. This structure is a nitrogen base is a adenine. Okay na? Now we need adenosine. Adenosine means what? Nitrogen base adenine with ribose sugar na. Now I am clearing this one. Water will go. Now directly I am writing the molecule. Okay na? This structure already I showed in the topic biomolecules in the concept of nucleic acids. Okay. Now this is a OH group. This is the first carbon, second, third, fourth, fifth. The fifth carbon is a CH2OH. That I will write. Now this structure. This is adenine. This is a ribose sugar. Together called as the adenosine. Now I am writing. So adenosine, we need adenosine triphosphate. 3 phosphates na? Here see. This is a 1 phosphate. Follow me. This is a second phosphate. Adenosine diphosphate. Next, this is a third phosphate. Means adenosine triphosphate. Okay na? Now, the first phosphate designating as a alpha. Second phosphate designating as a beta. Third phosphate designating as a gamma. Okay na? You have to remember. Now this adenine, this is adenine ribose. Adenosine, 3 phosphates together called a adenosine triphosphate. Now I am going to introduce the bonds. What is the bond between the nitrogen base and sugar? This bond is called as a beta N glycosidic bond. Here this bond you need to remember. Okay na? Next one, this is the 5th carbon of the sugar. This is alpha phosphate na. The bond present between these two, that is a phosphoester bond. What is the where is the phosphoester bond is present? Phosphoester bond is present between 5th carbon of the sugar with the alpha phosphate. For this time being, no need to remember the phosphoester bond. The last and the most important you should remember, that is between alpha and beta phosphate. Between beta and gamma phosphate, there are 2 bonds are there now. That bond is called as a phospho N-hydride bond. Phospho N-hydride bond. Where is that phospho N-hydride bond is present? Phospho N-hydride bond is present between alpha phosphate to the beta phosphate, between beta and gamma. The bond name remains the same. That is a phospho N-hydride bond. Now this concept, this you should remember the phospho N-hydride bond. Now I am going to explain it. For example, you take the ATP molecule. Okay na? This is that. This is not ATP. You should remember this is a structure. You have to visualize the molecule. Now this ATP molecule undergo breakdown, that is a ADP plus PA. Definitely this is a hydrolysis only. ATP breakdown. So before going to tell, ATP converted into ADP plus PA, breakdown into ADP plus PA, inorganic phosphate. What is the enzyme responsible for this breakdown? That is the ATPase. ATPase is enzyme causes the breakdown of ATP. Now comes to concept. Here I showed ATP breakdown into ADP and PA. Now I am asking you, in this reaction, which bond undergo breakdown? ADP, adenosine diphosphate. This is inorganic. Which bond breakdown? Phospho N-hydride bond. Na? So in this reaction, there is a breakdown of phospho N-hydride bond between beta and gamma phosphate. When the bond undergo breakdown, which bond? Phospho N-hydride bond undergo breakdown, delta G is the negative. What is the negative? Negative stands for exothermic reaction. How much energy it will release? That is a 7.3 kilocalories. Okay, now you are following. For example, ADP plus PA as the substrate now involve in the synthesis of ATP. Now, what is the enzyme responsible for this one? That is the ATP synthase. ATP synthase enzyme involved in the synthesis of ATP. Okay. Now, here what happened? ADP combines with phosphate to form the adenosine. Which bond is formed? That is a phosphate anhydride bond is formed between beta and gamma phosphate. So, definitely delta G should be positive. Na? That means endothermic reaction. Na? How much energy cell has to provide in order to form that phosphoanhydride bond? That is a 7.3 kilocalories. With this one, I am going to conclude one issue. The conclusion is like, in this reaction, when the phosphoanhydride bond is a breakdown, there is a release of 7.3 kilocalories of energy. When phosphoanhydride bond, when it forms, there is an investment of 7.3 kilocalories energy. Yes or no? Now I am asking you, what is the energy value of phosphoanhydride bond? Immediately you can tell, That is a delta G is a 7.3 kilocalories. So the energy value of one phosphoanhydride bond is equals to 7.3 kilocalories, because when it breaks, that releases it gives the 7.3 kilocalories energy. When it want to form, there is an investment of 7.3 kilocalories energy. That is why the energy value of phosphoanhydride bond is about 7.3 kilocalories. After explaining the bioenergetics of ATP, same ATP concept only I am going. In a cell, ATP synthesis occur by two ways. In a cell, ATP synthesis occur in two different ways. The first way is called SLP. What is SLP? Substrate level phosphorylation. The second one is a OP. OP means oxidative phosphorylation. In a cell, ATP synthesis occur by two ways. One is a substrate level phosphorylation. Second one is a oxidative phosphorylation. In simple terms, I will explain. For example, first you take the SLP, substrate level phosphorylation. For example, a reaction, substrate S convert into product P. Okay. In this reaction, there is a direct synthesis of ATP, 90% ATP, or direct synthesis of GTP, because GTP also ATP equivalent. Okay. That in a reaction, there is a direct synthesis of ATP or GTP. That reaction is called as a substrate level phosphorylation. Second one is the oxidative phosphorylation. For example, substrate in a reaction, substrate S convert into product P. Okay. In this reaction, there is a synthesis of NADH2. That means NAD convert into NADH2. Or there is a synthesis of FADH2. FAD convert into FADH2. Okay. This NADH2 and FADH2, in turn, they involve in the electron transport chain, results in synthesis of ATP. Indirectly, this reaction results in synthesis of ATP. So in this reaction, there is a synthesis. In a reaction, there is a synthesis of NADH2 or FADH2. Those in turn involved in the electron transport chain results in synthesis of ATP. This reaction you can call it as a oxidation. Oxidation means what? That is a release of NADH2 or FADH2. Okay. That one, phosphorylation. After that, ADP is associating with inorganic phosphate results in synthesis of ATP. Means addition of phosphate to the ADP. This reaction is called as a phosphorylation. That is why SLP and oxidative phosphorylation you can understand by SLP you can understand in two ways. In a reaction, there is a direct synthesis of ATP or GTP. That reaction is an example of SLP. Otherwise, in a reaction, there is a synthesis of ATP without involvement of electron transport chain. That reaction is an example of substrate level phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation is defined as in a reaction, there is a synthesis of ATP with involvement of electron transport chain. That reaction is called as a oxidative phosphorylation. Here, this is a concept of ATP. In the next part, I am going to introduce the concept of respiration. To understand this concept well, like this video and share to your friends. Subscribe our channel. If you have any doubts about this concept, please comment below. Definitely, I will respond to your questions. Thank you.